Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome to a new studio vlog. This wasn't planned, as you can tell. It was just a bit of a spur of the moment thing, but I've also been wanting to film this for a while. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing some organising in here in the studio. You'll get to see that. I've been part way through doing some of that. Which you kind of had a little snippet in the last video. I've got some new stuff that's arrived and we're going to open that. So we're looking at the new backdrops that I've ordered and a little bit about where I am with my work, my studio, what's happening, what's coming up, where I've been, what I'm doing, all of that. So I thought I'd catch you up on that. Firstly, I hope you're well, and thank you as always if you tune in and you watch them. Because it really is appreciated, and that's the very reason why. Even just one person, if I can inspire and encourage and really give them the tools to be able to support themselves with their creative business, then if it's just one person, that really means a lot. And I just felt the energy today to start filming. Didn't really plan my outfit. I'm in an Avengers t-shirt, but here we are. Yeah, I just thought, right, let's film. I've got a little bit from, let's put you back. I've got a little bit from the recent, what was it? What did I film? I did a short and a video. So this was kind of my little filming setup. I am gonna just tidy that up so we can just, get started. So let's go move that back. This is the painting that I did in the last video. So if you've watched the previous video, which I will pop a link, I basically asked the question, can we use art to heal? And I did this piece. I did the other piece actually as well on wood. That's a lot bluer actually compared to this. This has got a lot more pastel colours. But I was asking the question, can we use art to heal? It's something I've been asking myself for quite a while. And I don't necessarily answer that question, but it's just talking about my journey and with art in a holistic way and what that means and everything going forward and trying to tie everything in nicely. So if that sounds interesting to you, check that one out. I'm going to go and pop this back over here. I basically just used it for the backdrop purposes, just to kind of tie everything in. I'd also used my old lettering book. That was my dad's, which needs to find its place back over on my sweet cart. So let's give you a little spin. Oh, making sure I bash everything. If you've followed my journey from the very beginning, I'm talking like 10 years ago now, I had this built. And this was built from an incredible carpenter, and I went down with my ideas. I left it with him, and essentially the sweetheart can be folded up and put in the back of a small hatchback car. Yeah, his creativity of making it, the craftsmanship is next level. And it had lay kind of dormant for quite a while, and I was pretty sad about it. I hadn't got a use for it. I also didn't want to sell it. I felt very attached to it. I then recently found out that the gentleman had passed away, and I just felt very emotionally tied to my sweet car, and it's been sitting in my office. If you've caught any part of my studio vlogs for a couple of years, you may have noticed it's just sat in the background and it's been folded up and not used. So I kind of just the other week was like, right, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to use it for its original purpose of a sweetheart. What can I use it for? And I thought it'd be a really nice display if I ever hold workshops in here. A really lovely display to kind of house all the materials that people can help themselves to. So that's essentially what it's become. I'm just gonna carry on tidying up. It's obviously not exactly how I see the finished product, but for now I'm happy with it. I've also got some more tools somewhere. So I've been doing some clay at home, and part of an upcoming project in my HiCat journey, which is the holistic integrated creative arts therapy course that I'm doing, and that was kind of part of it coming up, and I didn't do it for that purpose, but I'd sat with my daughter and I made a paint palette. She copied me and did a similar one. She made a little Olaf, and we've just been really enjoying it at home. But I was just using the really readily available Das air dry clay, and it dries out in a few days. And then I was kind of using like a UV resin to seal the clay for the paint palette. So I need to probably pop that more over there actually. I've got a bunch of tools which I've just grabbed a bag, and I need to find a pot for, but I've got just all my clay materials that again need to just find a home in a minute. Which have I got a spare sweet jar? Let's have a look. I don't even know if I have. It only needs to be a small one as well. Here we go. Honestly, the joys of just not throwing anything away when you can always have something available. Let's see if this is going to work. I don't even know if it is. Yeah, maybe it is. For now anyway, and then we can find a home for everything. That was the nursery, and you know when you see no caller ID and you think I best take it, and then the answer and like it's the nursery, no need to worry, and you're like, the first thing you're doing is like automatically worrying. But yeah, they just needed some help with some images for me to download of Adeline's year basically. But I was like, yesterday we had a call as well, and I was just like, oh, you know, it's just like if they fell over, are they ill, or what, you know, just your mind just straight away kind of goes there. But yeah, right, where was I? Photo boards. These are the usual photo boards that I use. So I use a combination of backdrops and photo boards for pretty much my social media. I keep these over here, and I've only got two. I've got like the creamy one, which you've probably seen pretty much everything, and I've got like a wooden planks floorboard one. Glue gun, need to put the glue gun away, because on Monday I had a request to do a cake topper, and they're like, are you still doing cake toppers? And I was like, no, but yes. So answer's pretty much no, but I enjoyed it, but it just took me so long. So I deleted the software off my laptop. So I usually used to run it on my computer over here, but I deleted it off my laptop. So I was having to do a bit of a workaround in order to do it. So the cake topper, where it would have took me like 15-20 minutes, and I would have been doing like 5 or 6 over the space of like an hour or so. This one cake topper took me the best part of like an hour and a half to do, because you know, and it's like, you know how to do it, you can do it. I was making sure that I had to get it right, because I only had one lot of I use this really thick like 3mm mount board, so it's nice and rigid, and it, you know, won't wobble, and I only had enough for one basically left. So it was a little bit like, Han, concentrate, you've got to get this right. There's no room for error, so that's what I was doing Monday, and it kind of ate into just a lot of my time. So where I was going to do this, I kind of didn't. Right, so let's get on to opening the parcels. I've been cleaning up the space, and in order to clean up the space, you know when you're just moving mess from one place to the other, at the minute it's congregated right here. So I've kind of straightened out the space so that I can allow for tables and workshops and things, hopefully in the future. But in order to do that, I've had to do some real like can't think of the word, not downsizing, but I've really had to go through all my stuff and my products, and neaten everything up. Is it aligned? Yes, no. Do we sell it? Can we donate it? All those things. So at the moment, we have my printing station, and I mean, I've put that there again on the floor. It doesn't mean to be on the floor. We've got the press over here. I've just chucked the chair and my stuff on there. We've got the workstation with my table, which also is currently housing the boxes to my equipment, which has got to go home and in the loft, because it's like, I don't want to throw the stuff, I don't want to throw the boxes, but also, where do you just keep the boxes? Oh, sorry, I was trying to put that on the tripod. I've got my lighting over here, and then I have got bags of I've got stuff, and I've got files and just things that now need to be sorted and organised, and the fact that they just keep moving from one place to another. But it's like, you can't tidy that place over there unless you tidy that bit over there, and then you're just constantly playing like Tetris and moving stuff back and forth. Which, coming in, Luna's just opened the door. Okay, so let's move you over here. I've ordered some more backdrops from Club Backdrops, and I've got some others over there which I will get out in a little bit. Well, I say empty bottle of water. I bought some water for Luna, and I forgot to take it home to refill it. So, you know, and it's just like empty bottles chilling in your studio where they don't need to be. Right, let's go and put this back over here. I'm sure at this point I just move one thing constantly back to another. Here is my order. So I've grabbed some new paintbrushes, mainly watercolours, again for over on my little help yourself art setup. We got some Pritt sticks because, yeah, I know, like, of all the different types of glue, I just always go back to just the good old school Pritt sticks, especially when I'm doing like scrapbook journaling and I'm doing anything with Adeline. It's safe, it's good, it sticks well. So ordered 3 of those. This is when half of this becomes a surprise to me, because I'm like, oh, what did I order? My kid had also started to open everything, so I've got bits of rubbish absolutely everywhere. This is a hook which I'm going to put up. So essentially what I'm going to do is open my backdrops and have them hanging flat, because I keep them in the rolls. They shouldn't really be kept in the rolls, because when you come to use them, they're very much obviously like curved up and they need to be like left flat. But I didn't know where to store them where I can keep them flat. And then I kind of thought of the idea of, like, you know, if it's like a shop front, and have it on like a hanger system if it was like clothes hanging up. So I've bought this really simple black hook which will stick out a little bit, but I'm thinking of maybe putting it over here next to my handmade sign, because that's in black, it might match. There looks like that's the most room. So we'll look at that in a little bit. There's the screws, got to go and get the drill out, and then give these boxes to my dad actually, because he'll recycle them and make use of them. Basically any packaging I get I pass to my dad, because when he sells items he uses my packaging. So I will very kindly pass this on in a little bit. But this should be my coat hangers. Yes. So right, let's pop that back. I don't know how many even came in here. I want to say 8 or 10. But what they're going to do is clip the backdrop onto here, and then they should be able to hang, and I should be able to see them. And then basically the idea, the intention has been for a while, and I still need to make it happen. It's kind of still in the works at the moment. But I'd love to open this space to potentially offering workshops for people in the local area, if almost as a co-working session. So you can make use of the materials, the equipment, the lighting, the knowledge that I have, just mentoring, support, and I'd just love to make it happen. I already pay for my public liability, I pay for my product liability, I've got insurances for the grounds in which my business premises is on. There's just a few more roadblocks that I need to uncover. I need to sort toilet systems out. I've got ample parking, so that's a huge bonus. I still need to do some tidying up in here, and I've got some things to kind of fix and mend a little bit, because we did some work on the electrics, which you can see over on by the Sweetcart, but we had to do some rewiring of the electrics and stuff, and had someone in to do them, but they had to cut into the wood, so I essentially need to do some work and patch it up basically. But that's the long and short of it. I've also been toying with the idea, and it's not concrete yet, so if you're at this point and you're still listening to the vlog, then thank you so much, but please let me know in the comments below if it's something that you think would be beneficial to yourself. But rewinding like 6 years ago now, I had a Patreon, and my Patreon account I kind of did out of default, and I guess because people were asking for it at the time from my YouTube channel, so that's what I did. But then I thought at the time I probably knew what I was doing with it, but I didn't know how to really do it. Essentially, the world was very much online 5-6 years ago. We were going through COVID and whatnot, and the world just shifted towards that. So it gave me a nice place to kind of to have as my own. And I think the main benefit that I always found with Patreon was that I could, where I keep myself quite private online, just, you know, for personal reasons and for internet safety reasons and all of those things, Patreon was kind of like my little safe space to just allow that people in a little bit more. And it, because it felt closed and it felt a sacred space, but I essentially didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing with it, and I didn't know what people really wanted it for. And then I got really in my head with it. I didn't really know how to navigate it. It dwindled, and it was at the point where I had found out that I was pregnant with my daughter, and my granddad was going through Alzheimer's at the time. Really, like, it was quite intense, and obviously during COVID and with my business change, and I didn't recognize myself, my business, what I wanted, how is this going to work, all these questions. And I kind of almost froze. I guess I recognize it now as the flight or fright response, but it's not just as linear as that. There is also the freeze response, and I think I was very much in that state of freeze, because my care and attention was solely on my granddad's life and that of all my hospital appointments with my daughter, and having such a high risk pregnancy and what that meant. So I just didn't know what any of that meant for me and my business. Like, that's just the complete transparent or honest truth of it. Anyway, cut a long story short, you can catch up everything in between then by watching the studio vlogs and little bits that I've kind of left online along the way. But here we are today, and I'm embarking on my high cat journey, which I mentioned in my previous video and I mentioned at the beginning of this. But essentially it's looking at the holistic, integrated creative arts therapy and supporting people with having the tools to navigate grief, anxiety, depression, and also just art for mindfulness, and it's such a big part of a lot of where I come from with my art. And again, with this is where it's going to be like, it seems really far. They seem very distant, but actually to me they're quite connected. But in terms of the marketing and as the whole marketing aspect that I do, and working with clients, and also working on smaller projects, but a lot of what I do is really trying to do that in a mindful way, in a way that supports ourselves, because I believe that our business can support ourselves, and that, you know, that looks different to everyone. Whether you need that because you need flexibility, whether you need that because it provides your income, whether that is because it's an outlet for your creativity and your mindfulness, and it means a lot of things to different people. But a lot of people running creative businesses, even though it is extremely hard to do, it's what's like needed for the soul. You can't sometimes explain it, you just know that's something you need to do. I'm rambling on again, aren't I? I was thinking the other day, when I was in the kitchen, actually, I was just doing the drying up and putting the dishes away, and it's always in the mundane moments that you kind of think of these ideas, isn't it? And although I can't offer any of this right now, I can do the groundwork and the organising and setting up. But essentially I was looking at, how do I offer this space also online? So I know I want to do in-person workshops, which again I'll go on about in a little while about where I'm at, but can I offer it where we do like bi-weekly sessions where we look at limiting beliefs with ourselves and running businesses, and like that's just an example, but yeah, where we do bi-weekly workshops. I can talk a little bit more openly and have my podcast on there, and then I can also offer one-to-one slots. And primarily the creative business owners are comfortable with the Patreon platform, as opposed to trying to find somewhere else to make it fit. So that's where the idea kind of like came from for it. Again, you know, I want to be a place from being qualified in order to be able to offer that space and put everything in place for that. But that's just my ideas with where we're at. Anyway, right, let's look at these backdrops, and then I'll catch you up with a little bit more of where I'm at currently. Right, let's see what I've even ordered, because at this point, genuinely, I have no idea what I've ordered, because they had a sale on, and I think it was like 40% off. They'd like overprinted, so they were doing 40% off their stock on certain backdrops. So I ordered one or two, can't remember, so don't quote me. Ordered one or two backdrops, and then they have mystery packs, and they could just complete random, so you don't know what's going to be in there. And I thought, I've always gambled with that before, and I've always been really pleasantly surprised with what I had. And even though that wouldn't be something I'd typically pick, they've always had their uses. And I think if I'm going to offer this space to other people, you know, they might not just want a pastel pink or a forest green, they might want a different colour or a different style. So it just gives different variation. As well as when I create social content for other people, so from a UGC perspective, which is user generated content, you know, I'm creating content that isn't necessarily, it's for the client, it's not for me, so it doesn't have to fit in with like my brand aesthetics. It's just got to come from a creative point of view. Oh, they've taped this well. Right, let's see what we've got. They really do wrap these up like super good. I've got my bigger ones over here as well. These are the slightly smaller size. can't remember if this is what I've ordered or not. I can't remember what's in the mystery pack and what I've ordered. Progress, not perfection. Club backdrops. I like that. That's like my my motto the other day. Okay, or maybe I did just order all of these and they were all in the... Okay, maybe I didn't order a mystery pack. Or maybe I did. Honestly, who knows at this point. So we have got, and this is why they need to be kept flat. Can you see how much they're like curling up at this point? But they do, it doesn't take them long to kind of straighten themselves out. But we have got a like stone effect grey. We have got I'm at a point where I'm like, where do I put everything? We have got, oh, this is surprisingly nice. I feel like I'm really into my blues at the minute, but this is like a really nice pastel kind of textured blue. I don't know how well that comes across on camera. We'll find out when we edit. And then, oh, okay. I ordered a pink. Surprise! Honestly, I am so clumsy at times. Right, let's look at the pink. So we've got a textured pink, which I love anything with a nice texture to it. Oh, this is getting a bit much now, isn't it? Me trying to balance everything. Oh, and then we have some warm wood, which this is really nice, kind of like autumn time, and you've got like the warm tones and textures and colours, and you can almost pair this as like the flooring and then the others as the backdrop to the top, so you can kind of give like a fake wall scenario. I don't know where to begin. I almost need to kind of put these, let's see, so that's how they're going to fit. There we go, that's how it's going to work, look. Ow, my finger. And then we're going to hang them up, just like that. But now I need to work out what sizing I need and how big, like in comparison, because they're my small backdrops. These are my huge ones, and these are really useful, and these are not as exciting. Right. I know it's this size that I'm going to have to go off. So here's my bigger ones. Well, so they're much bigger in comparison, but I've got a dark grey one. I'm running out of space again. Essentially, I'll show you a little bit later, but the one's just a matte grey and the other one's a pure plain white background, so nothing fancy with those. And I do have some more somewhere. I think they're in here. Yes, they are. I don't even know if I've got enough clips. I didn't realise I've accumulated this many, I'm going to be honest. We'll have a look at those in a bit. Let's have a look at where we can drill this and screw it up. Right, I'm also going to have to do some tidying. Right, let's move these out of the way. This is stuff that needs to go home, so I'm going to put it outside because I need to actually do it for once. I can't even tell you the amount of time that has passed where I have just basically said I'm taking them home and then I haven't. I just look at them and seem to then like lock up in my studio and they're still there. So Hannah needs to make it happen. I also really need to sell my embroidery machine. I made the decision and I know that I just need to do it, but I've taken the photos months ago. I'm talking 3 months ago. Do you think I've listed it? No. Everything else has taken priority. Right, anyway, where's that gone? I need to if that's there, is that going to look super ugly and distract from my logo, or is that going to work? I think I might need the help of my dad. I always need the help of my dad, let's be honest.
I would imagine it's that way. Leave the leverage on there, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, leverage.
We're asking the wrong person here.
Well, so have a look, see what Jay says to put it up, but I think that's it.
I don't think it says. It says something about a glue and a sticker. You're not going to put that up with a...
It's going to fall, it's got less, it's got more to go on there, look, yeah. So when that's in, see what I mean?
Yeah, that looks like a big black blob right now, but we're going to have to roll with it. Start with these ones. So we've got... Definitely need these to drop. And let's get my others out as well, because I can't remember what was even in the box. Oh gosh, I can't even get it out. Oh, I didn't realise I had a small white one. Oh, there's more. Oh, I definitely have more of these than I realised. So here's my plain pink one, which looks very different compared to having texture. Oh, they've got names. I didn't realise this one's called Bon Bon.
Well, that's my thing in there. Yeah, my job, yeah. Thank you.
We have plain white, or pure white as I should say. So I've got this in the really, really big one, and I didn't even realise I'd got it in the small one. So that just proves when you've got it up, you don't know what you have got. Let's see what's inside the box. What colours do we reckon it is? Oh, I've got green. Who knew? I knew I'd got a brown, didn't realise I'd ordered green. Oh, and I've got a sand, a beige. Honestly, I feel awful that I didn't know. Oh, I've crumpled that. How's that got creased? Oh, here is a nice forest green. Plain. I don't know if I prefer the textures or not, but yeah, definitely built a bit of a catalogue now for backdrops, which I didn't realise I had done, if I'm honest. Actually running out of coat hangers, which I may have to go and order some more. Just got to straighten out the big ones, but right, last one of the little ones is this pink. The other bit I need to kind of catch up with you with where I'm at with the work is that I've been doing some work with the local community to do with the council. So back earlier in this year, I basically went and did my level 3 in education and training. Sorry, I was looking where it opens. It basically allows me to have the correct qualifications in order to teach adult learning within the local community and with the council. So I went and did a talk last Thursday, and I kind of joined in on a workshop session, and I did a presentation on basically search engine optimization for creatives. I then sat on a one-to-one basis and just sat chatting to people, getting to know their ideas, where they're at with their business, and everyone was at different stages, but it was lovely to kind of connect with people one-to-one, and that's essentially what I really miss. So I know when you see the vlogs, it very much looks like it's just me and I'm in my studio, but actually a big part of my business before was that people were always coming and going, and I'd have people here and it was always really lively and full of life. Sorry, you can probably all you hear is pitter patter. Luna's just come in. Are you staying, Luna, or are you going? She's undecided, clearly. Nope, she's staying. She's staying. So yeah, my studio was always full of life and full of energy, and then when I came back after having my daughter and everything had kind of changed and how I was going to run my business changed, I then very obviously, I know it sounds really daft, but like I didn't have, that's not me personally, the energy was different at my studio, and I've fought against it for quite a while, and I've not known how to, I've just felt like it's not felt like home, even though this is what I created as my home. I just felt very lost in my own personal space of it, and that was mainly down to not connecting with people, not seeing people, and that was a big part of what I was used to. So I kind of gave myself a bit of a realization that I need to do the work myself on this, and what does that mean to me? What do I want my business to look like? And I think I've spoken here a lot, but like I really enjoy marketing and content creating and having products being found in search and all of that. I love that. I love making, absolutely love making, but I just want to make everything all the time and be making one thing one week and one thing another, and I love being part of people's businesses. So actually, how do all of those things align with the path and the journey that I'm also going on? And that's just what I've been trying to get my head around. But a lot, I just knew I wanted to connect with people basically, and that's what I've been doing. So away from the studio, I've been working with creatives in person and with them and in workshops. There's two little pieces to the puzzle left, where even though I'm doing outreach, and I've also got a project coming up where I'm doing some lettering in the local area for a community project, so that'll be fun, and doing like a 4-hour workshop on it, so with some other artists, so that'll be good fun. But yeah, I had kind of two options. I've just got a little bit of sorting to do, and it's organising this space a little bit better, making it just ready to host people, advertising that, marketing that, seeing if it's something that people even want to do. I'm working on my community project stuff, so I'm working with the local councils and I'm working with them with the adult learning sector, and then I'm also in the background, like I've mentioned, I'm doing my creative arts therapy qualification but that's going to take the best part of a year. So the things with Patreon and stuff, we're going to be in the background ready to launch probably like spring next year. So yeah, that is where I'm at. I was actually going to do some laser cutting today. I was going to create some tags because as a little thank you for Adeline's nursery, but I don't even think I'm going to get onto that. I don't think I've got time today. I've got to jump on my laptop and do some emails and get back to people, because you know when you can kind of feel them. They only came in last night, but you know, and you just know you need to do them this morning, because I don't want to let them carry on, and I'm conscious of the time. I only kind of have limited hours with my daughter at like preschool, so I've kind of got to finish up for the day. But I'm gonna go and find a home for the new brushes and glue sticks. This is what I mean by moving furniture. So I needed to move this in order to go over there, in order to do that. And now it's back over here, and I'm having to move this to put it back over there. Glue sticks. We need to put glue sticks over here. And brushes. I think I need a new little pot. I did have a spare part, but it's a very tall coffee, and I don't think that's going to be right. This is better for like my big paintbrushes. Surely there is a pot somewhere in here. Okay, I thought I'll give you a little bit of a tour, but you'll have to bear with me because it's a work in progress. But we've moved the drawers that were over the other side to here. This just houses the printer, the silhouette machine, and all the materials that are relevant to these machines. We also have the little sewing machine poking out there. We have then got my heat press, which is currently sitting here, and a chest of drawers which has got all the paper in. Excuse the fact that I've dumped my, my bag there, but I need to go through all these drawers because the weight of the paper has basically meant they've collapsed. We've then got the table in which I do my editing with the computer, but yeah, I need to again take all these home, so I'm going to put those in that bag actually and make it happen today. We've got my other tripod, then we've got the help yourself tools, which I just need to find somewhere for my brushes, which I don't know where the focus on here is, just not, there we go. I just need to find somewhere for the brushes, but this is the help yourself art station. We've got the laser machine, which you've seen many times before, my little desk that I work at, the chair, the very first chair for my office, my like 1930s chair, which I absolutely love. This is like the second dumping ground at the moment because we were working on that laser machine over there, so everything over there has just been moved to here. But this is where I typically kind of sit and do my emails and make a cup of tea and sit down. We've got the packing bench with everything necessary for packing. We've got packaging supplies, more packaging supplies. We've got my daughter's latest artwork, my paint trolley for oils, acrylics, again, bit of a help yourself. We've got printing inks over here. So here's all my printing inks. Then we've got my inks for calligraphy, sign writing supplies, clay, odds and ends, more packing supplies, and just general. We've got blackboard paint, spray paints. And then in these boxes we have printing block supplies. What else have we got? Random odds and ends, if I'm honest. We've got sublimation blanks. We've got the button press and the supplies that go with that. So anyone wanting to make their own badges. I've got more supplies in my, this is my mum, right. So my mum came in and started, where is it? Let's focus. She started cleaning. She's very kindly wiped all this over and made sure it's nice and clean, but also has left everything in a really random place. So bless her, she's kind of put that in front of the box. But yeah, I've got my old school paint box, which was from the family business that I don't even know how they acquired a bunch of old boxes, but there we go. Over here's my other laser cutting section, and here's my backdrops, which they all need to drop because at the minute, because they've been rolled up, they're all crumpled a little bit and are all rolled up. So yeah, they need to flatten out, so that's why they're going to hang there for a little while. And then we've got the laser machine section. I've got some of my calligraphy books. Here is some of my business strategy stuff, so don't know if you can see that poking, but there's the strategies. We've got, what have we got here? We've got strategy tactics, brand tactics, storytelling, innovation, productivity, workshops, one of my prints, more stuff I've made and randomly stuck, my lovely M1, some of my lighting equipment that hasn't found a home yet. And we have got, let's zoom you out, we've got wood for laser cutting, acrylic for laser cutting, and other wooden items that can be engraved. We've then got my very trusty, we've then got my very trusty M1 machine, and on top of that is all the vinyl in the drawers because, let's bring you around here. essentially everything in this drawer can be used for that machine because it cuts vinyl as well. That's where it's stored. In case you're curious, this is all the stuff that hasn't found a home yet and is currently in the middle of my floor. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment, and I've got a lot of change happening in our... Someone must be at the gate, or it's a pigeon because the dogs are very excited. But yeah, essentially I've got a lot of change happening and just settling in that I'll be doing with my daughter as she goes on to her next chapter. And I'm just trying to be kind to myself amongst all of this. And I think that's one of the things that when I ran my business before, I had all the time in the world, I could do what I want, and I just made decisions because I had so much time that I could, whereas every decision these days is made with intent, with purpose. It has to be aligned with not only my life, with my daughter's life, and it all has to work in harmony. I'm not saying it does work in harmony all the time, but it has to work in a way that supports both of us. I'm excited. I've got a lot of like really lovely, like warm energy around this space, and I feel like it's been something that has been there for so long that I've kind of buried a little bit and just kept doing what I'm doing. You'll still see all my lettering, by the way. You'll still see all of that, my calligraphy, my lettering, making stuff on the laser machines. That's all going to be part of me still and what I do. It's all in a way that feels evolved and aligned with where I'm at, and I just wished I'd kind of been a little bit more open and honest with myself to allow it in. I know I've like tiptoed and I've put like, not even my big toe, I've like put my baby toe in the water before, and I'm just like, no. It's felt like a huge step, whereas now I'm committing to it and making those changes, and like I know that I'll lose a lot of audience a lot of the way, I'll gain audience, I'll connect with people differently, and all of that is perfectly okay, and I'm really at peace with all of that. I just want to say a big thank you from me. I know I say it in every vlog, but honestly, if it wasn't for yourself watching, then I wouldn't be able to keep building this business and making it what it is today. So I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I'll see you in the next studio vlog. Goodbye.